Good evening, folks. This week's class is going to be probably a lot shorter than the other ones have been. Oh, sorry. Finn at the mark. Sorry. So still a little bit tired from adult swim and then practicing Monday, and then I got practice tomorrow, and then just between road work and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, long recovery. Tonight's class type thing is going to be on movement. And there are a lot of different ways that fighters move in this game. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I do, that I've learned over the years, that I've tried to learn from people way better than I am. So it's just one of those things, like all of my classes. This is things that I'm working on. This is things that I, at this time, believe. There are probably times going to be stuff that I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm not so sure I believe in that anymore. But for movement, the big thing with it is, I see a lot of guys, and I do this a lot. It's one of my big things that I work on in practice. Is I have a tendency of, before my shot even lands, I'm already backing out of the shot, which makes all of my power go that way. Same way with going to the side and out, or this way and out. All you're relying on is your arm to get that power in. That can work on some guys. That can work for some guys, especially if you're, 6'5", 280, whatever. You're a big guy. You do blacksmithing or armoring or whatever. You've got really good, strong arms. Yeah, you can make those shots work. For the average guy, most likely not. At least you're not going to get guys at the upper levels that take those shots. And like I said in other classes, you should be throwing shots that those guys are going to be taking. If you're wanting to elevate yourself and get better in this game. If all you want to do is go to your local fighter practice, fight your buddies, and that's it, and then go to war and not care, then do what you want to do. I'm just saying, if you want to get the upper guys to take your shots, you've got to throw proper form. Part of that is your movement. So, let's see here. There's a couple different ways. I'm going to show you my beliefs. If you look out there, there's a lot of other guys that got other styles, other ways. You'll see a lot of guys that they have no problem leaning all the way over here or all the way over here for their shots. How I was trained was pretend there's a circle around you, and you don't want your body weight, your body mass, to get over that circle. So if you want to get over here, if you want to throw a shot from over here, it's not this, so now my weight's over my toes, so I'm way off balance. No, it's you move for that shot. You move for that shot. One of the things I'm working on is, okay, I'm backing up. I've thrown this combo, and I want to throw, let's say you come back here, and let's say I want to escape with a wrap shot. Okay, so I want to back up and throw it, but when I back up, I basically want to back it up, throw, and I'm not sure if you can see, let me go this way, that even with this shot, when I back up, I'm still throwing the hip forward and then continuing on. There's basically a brief that of where, let me change this over here so you can see the Pell. So you got me going, so I'm going boom. And even that was probably, I was fading up just a little too soon. So it's almost that boom before you get out. That's one of the things I want to work on, let's see, seems to be a little close. No? Okay. That's as far as it goes. So you want to work on, one of my ways is you don't let your weight get over your toes. Everything, if you want to get over there, get over there. You don't want to, I try not to lean for my shots. One reason why, like, okay, let's say I want to throw this. I want to throw an offside at your leg. Like maybe take a chop at your head. I throw it like that. Usually I'll do a stutter step over this way. So I'll throw this, so I'll do boom, that. I see a lot of guys do, not even really do, just take a really big step to the left and do this. One, that's a very big move, very easy for me to track it. So it's very easy to just go, oh, okay, that's what you're doing. And while I'm doing this, because they have zero defense right here. And really they're putting their head, arm, and shoulder on a platter right there. So I see that, it's like, okay, that. And it's just a chop down because they've laid their self right there for me. That's one reason why I don't like to do, why I don't teach that kind of stuff. If you've watched any of my fights, things like that, you'll see I'm pretty much a straight up fighter. I used to be very much, okay, but based on what we called a gunslinger style, was okay, we both get here, okay, let's see who wins this fight. I'm incorporating movement into my stuff now. So it's gonna take a bit, especially when I get tired, but even when I get tired, I'm trying to very much trying to stay moving. I've been watching a lot of Tubranos and stuff lately. So you, like, if you watched this past Monday's practice, you probably noticed I was doing a lot of that kind of movement. Trying to keep just in range of guys so their defense stays up, but I still got basically control of the fight. And I'm in the range, but I'm not in the range. It's very easy. I can easily block anything they throw because I'm just in range of their stuff. But it's mostly to where I can be more relaxed here, but I'm making them, keep their defense up, stuff like that, to basically make them more tired. And then just trying to, cut in for shots, things like that. So that's what I've been working on instead of boom here. One of the things I have a habit of doing, especially on one of the shots you guys have probably seen if you've watched any of our practices, is I'll throw this offside, take a step here, and then throw this. And I'll throw a chop to the hip. Actually, it's a chop either to the hip, body or hip, is what I'm going for. That's a big step. My defense is still here because I'm standing up. And if they decide to throw something, I can either bail here and catch it. I could do this, but most likely what I'm going to try to do is boom, that. I'm trying to make that shot a little bit smaller. And I've got a very bad habit of knowing that they can throw the offside. So what I do instead is, instead of doing this, a step in towards them, I tend to do this and take a step back. So I'm moving out of the way. The problem is like I said, my power is moving that way, is moving backwards. So what I've been trying to do And it's a shot that I watched Dubranos throw a couple times. Is misdirects. Instead of throwing this, I'm almost doing the same foot movement, but he's not really throwing this. He's just going right down. So he's setting up. I do strap. He does center grip. But but actually, a lot of times I'll go right like I'll go here, there. It's a subtle difference. I was actually being somewhat successful with it on Monday. It's a little bit different from what I throw, but it's all about misdirecting your opponent. There's something to be said about getting your opponent out of defense, for better lack of word, just by your movement. Not even throwing fakes or whatever with the sword. So if you're moving, if you go here, that little this gets them to start pulling this way to open up a flat snap. So you've got a little bit of work with that, of just trying to misdirect your opponent's defense before you even throw the shots. Now throwing the shots and all that will help, and you need to throw the shots at some point so your opponent knows you have those shots to make them react to it. But that's one of the things that might work for you, is just start working on trying to control the fight without even throwing a blow. Trying to get your opponent to get his defense totally out of whack because you've threatened all these areas that you've thrown at, and get him to open those up. There's actually a drill that I saw from Dubranos at, I think it might have been one of the Shiv meets in mid-realm, that I'm gonna actually start seeing if some of the guys here want to play the game with me. But basically, that's what it is. You have one shot to throw at your opponent to kill them, one shot to hit them. And if you miss, it's then his turn. So you set up. It's basically your normal fight, but you set up, and you move, kind of get them to get their defense out, and then you throw that one shot. Hopefully you hit, head, leg, whatever. If you miss, they block it, whatever. Well, now it's their turn to try it on you. And if you got a group of guys trying to do this, you can just do that with the whole group. And if you miss, you go in line. You just keep on going, just for a little bit. And it's all designed to try to help you control your fight. Now, granted, in a real situation, they're going to be throwing back at you. But in reality, if all you're trying to do is get them to make one mistake, so you can throw one shot, that means your defense should be solid enough to block anything he throws, or they throw. Sorry, I'm using he. I should be saying they. So the whole time you're out there, you're here moving, you should be able to pick up anything they throw while you're trying to maneuver. So it's a cool little drill. I want to try it. I want to see if it helps us, because we got a lot of guys here. Because a lot of us came from Valencia, like 20 years ago, when especially a lot of us at that time, the style was, okay, you might move, 3 inches, and that was it. Very much a gunslinger style. So we don't move naturally. I'm a little better at it nowadays, just because I've been fighting off and on center grip for the last, got knighted in 2002, so I think I started picking up center grip 2004. So I've been probably been messing with center grip off and on for 13 years. Center grip I have to move. But we don't naturally move a lot. If we do move, it's very small, like 3-inch movements here and there, just to cut a corner, cut an angle, things like that. The game is evolving. Now there's still guys that can fight that way and fight it well. But our way of thinking is, okay, fine, we can still do that. Well, some of the guys still can. But why not learn to move also for those times where you're going to need to? Why be caught off guard when you need to move and you can't because you've never done it before? So it's one of the things we're trying to do. Okay. One of the other things is, one of the other things I train guys on is pretend that your opponent is a box. You never want to, you're always trying to cut a corner on the box. You're not trying to go straight on into the sides. So you've got your box, you've got your opponent. Let me move the camera so you see, actually you kind of see it already. Let me move it back a little bit. Okay. Let me get the camera down a little bit, sorry. Sorry for, just want to kind of get this so you guys see what I'm talking about here. So you actually see my feet. All right, because this is more about the feet than it is the than the head. All right, so pretend on the pedal here that there's a box here. You don't want to be going straight on to the box. Like when you set up, you're out of range. Okay. Right, so you're coming here. You don't want to be coming to your opponent going, ha, I'm here. Especially one, if he's better than you. If he's taller than you, that's not exactly a good game plan. You want to be coming at different angles to that box. I try to work on, especially on passes. You're setting up, let's say you want to go that way with a shot, like especially like my hip shot. So you go here, and you cut across that angle, that corner of the box. Same way with the wrap. You're here, boom, boom. You got stuff here. Cut in the corner of the box. Try not to be always in front of your opponent. There's going to be times where it's going to happen. What I would suggest, if it happens, is move. And that's part of it. Don't sit here and play this game with guys. Move a little bit. Go side to side. Punch the shoulder basket if you want to. Boom, snag it. Snag it while going this way. Get here. Or if you're gonna go to the left, or get here, boom, snag while you're getting out. Try not to be in front of your opponent. You don't want to be a pell to your opponent. If you're standing in front of them, that's what you're doing. And they might be doing the same thing to you. You'll see some of our fights, especially when I was fighting. If you look back at other weeks, you look at some of our practices. When I was fighting with the Scootum, I was trying to scoot him. No, my way of fighting was I didn't move a whole lot. It was okay. Oh, you're going that way. Okay. All right, we're on here now. I didn't move, I didn't cut angles, I didn't really do a whole lot of stuff. If I cut an angle anytime, it was either this to here, and imagine it's the sword that's really cutting the angle, unless you're wanting to do a big pass by your opponent. But it's more of cutting angle. So you just want to kind of, you don't want to be standing there for your opponent to hit you. You want to control the game, you want to control the range. Your movement's going to be what does that. There's a lot of different ways to do it. The way I'm trying to learn right now is watching tons of tape on Duke Branos' style. And trying to watch him and some of the other guys that I know from the mid-realm and other places that have adopted their style, his style, and might have tweaked a little bit to work better for them. Because that is one of the things. You're not ever going to perfectly adapt to someone's style. I could be wrong on that. I don't think I am. What usually happens is you learn someone's style, and then you do some tweaks to make it work better for you. Because you might not be that exact body style of that person. You might be shorter than them, you might be taller than them, you might be bigger than them. Like the bigger guys, we try to copy some of the smaller guys' style that don't have man boobs. Some of their styles don't work as well. So, or some of their styles don't work as well for us because we got something in the way. So we have to adapt our style to make sure that our defense is still solid, but we have to adapt to the extra things that are in our way. I was going to call this the movement training, but it's probably going to be more of positioning training, because I think I did more about positioning than I did exactly about movement. Because really, movement's hard to teach for the simple fact of you can only really teach your way. My problem is I have lots of ways. I try people's styles all the time. I try to, I guess mimic is the correct word, except that I take their style, I try to learn it as best I can, and then I start tweaking it to try to make it work for me. Because no, there is no magical style out there. There are some guys that kick everyone's butt, but there's always there's always a group of guys out there that fight a different way. That is his bane, or is their bane. That's what you have to, that's one reason why I kind of mess with a bunch of stuff. So I recognize different styles, because that's the only way I really learn, is to learn that style. If I learn that style, then I'll recognize it, then I can go, okay, when I was doing that style, this, and this worked against me well. This, and this didn't work with crap. So that's one reason why I try to learn a bunch of different styles and get them down to, passable, maybe even better than passable. But it's so when I'm fighting against them, especially like at Pennsic, Adult Swim, places like that, I can recognize them faster and adapt faster, because my body's already going, oh wait, I used to do this. I was always open here, here, and here. If I did this, and this, or if my opponent did this, and this, so let's try that. But other guys can watch tape and be able to do the same thing I do. I hope this was somewhat educational. I kind of feel like I rambled a bunch, which I probably did, because I kind of was trying to figure out what I wanted to teach today. So I'm hoping it's not as bad as I think it's going to be. So I'm going to take a look at it before I put it out this time. And if it's too bad, then I'm probably not going to post it. But if you see it, hey, I posted, because I didn't think it was as bad as I thought it was. So thank you for watching. Tonight I'm also going to be doing, you'll see I'll have 2 other videos out tonight. One will be my Pel work for sword and board, trying to work on movement and stuff with Duke Branos' style, because that's the style I'm working on right now. Especially with going to this kind of shield. I'm finding the way one of the styles I was trying to do, I was actually not doing bad at Adult Swim. I actually did okay. I did better than what I was expecting, especially since it was only the second time in practice that I'd been messing with the West Kingdom thing. But after watching Duke Branos, and I've messed with his style before, but it was always with straps, like my strap scoot or something like that. I'm finding this is a little bit better I don't know, I'm finding this feels better, I guess for a better word, because it's not a center grip, but it almost feels like a center grip, except I get my reactions to me having it strapped. And then I'll also be doing another Greek spear, Chilton spear video tonight, pellet work. So thanks, and I hope this is, if I post this, I hope it's not as bad. It's not that bad. All right, have a good night, guys.